So I want to say a very big welcome to each of you as we gather today celebrating this special day, the day that we call Thanksgiving. So let me begin by asking, how are we doing in that being thankful department? If you don't mind me asking, do we spend more time being thankful or do we spend more time worrying about life? I'm reminded this morning about the words given to us in Jesus in Matthew chapter 6, where he says, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you shall eat or drink, or about your body, what you shall wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing?" I believe that true thanksgiving and worry, they can't occupy the same space. They're incompatible. And that's why I love Jesus' words to us, where he says, don't be anxious about your life. And yet I suspect that for many of us here today, we're more anxious than we are grateful. And oftentimes, we're not even aware of it. I like this quote that I've heard from a basketball coach of all people, who compares his worries to the economy. He says, hey, my hairline is in recession, my waistline is in inflation, and altogether, I'm in depression. I'm sure he's just joking, but for many of us, life can be a bundle of anxieties. So why are we so anxious? Why do we spend so much time fretting and worrying? I have some hunches, a couple I want to share with you. I believe that first of all, we focus on our fears rather than our faith. You know why many people worry? I think for some, worry, it's a substitute for faith. Worry does for some people what faith does for others. Have you ever heard anybody say, don't tell me it doesn't help to worry? Most of the things I worry about never happen. They really mean it. Some people are genuinely concerned that if they fail to worry, that which they fear will actually happen. So for some people, worry is in a primitive way. They believe it actually keeps danger away. In a sense, one could say that they're substituting worry for God. And I believe that there is such a much better way, that we are to focus on our faith in God rather than our fears. And worry has to dissipate. Believe that you can trust God to handle any situation that you may confront, and then just relax. For God's resources are so much greater than our resources. Live your life in perpetual praise to God for God's goodness, and I believe that fear will melt away. George Mueller, the famed 19th century founder of orphanages that cared for thousands of children, and he handled millions of dollars donated on faith, he put it this way, and I quote, he said, the beginning of anxiety is the end of faith. The beginning of true faith is the end of anxiety. Let me repeat that. It says the beginning of anxiety is the end of faith, and the beginning of true faith is the end of anxiety. I think we worry because we focus on our fear rather than our faith. But I also believe we worry because we focus on the irrelevant and we ignore the important. One comedian calls himself a Jewish juggler. He says, I can worry about 6 things at the same time. I don't believe you have to be Jewish to accomplish that feat. I think many of us are good at it all by ourselves. One commentator notes that the words do not be anxious, it's a translation of a Greek word that means do not be divided in your mind, or do not be double-minded. And yes, oftentimes it feels like we have a million things racing through our minds, doesn't it? We feel overwhelmed, crushed by the weight of our responsibilities. We feel like things are coming at us from every direction, and thus we kind of become immobilized, kind of become paralyzed. We don't know which way to move. What we need to do is to focus our attention on only a few things, the few that are really important. Yes, we all have family and friends that care about us. You have a church that cares about you. Our physical needs are being met. Yeah, I know we don't live in palaces, but hopefully our houses are warm on a cold night and we have plenty to eat. I don't know what you would put on your really important list, but for most of us, we are blessed in wondrous, wondrous ways. There are people on this planet who feel themselves blessed who do not have nearly as much as we do. So people of God, focus on your faith. Forget your exaggerated fears. Focus on the really important blessings in your life and put the trivial concerns in their place. And when we do, I believe that Thanksgiving of 2022 can be our best Thanksgiving ever. For I pray it be so. And all God's people said, amen. And on behalf of my family and the staff and their families here at Grace Church, we hope for each of you that you have a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving. God bless you.